the RPI. I was a little bit surprised they didn't move past Auburn. Auburn is not a concern. They're not going to host. But the thing that I care about is the math. So let me break down some minutiae numbers. Right now, the difference between 14 in the RPI, Virginia Tech, and number 18 Alabama is 0.006. That's it. So if you are able to make up that ground, 0.006, which I think a top 10 RPI win against South Carolina at a neutral site would do, all of a sudden, I think everybody's feeling fine. And you're not sitting at 18 the RPI. You're probably up somewhere around 14 or 15. So, again, that's kind of more cosmetic, but that is metrically what's at stake between Alabama and South Carolina. And South Carolina wants to stay in the Supers hosting conversation. They can do that with a win here, and then the giant opportunity awaiting the winner of this against Texas A&M, the #1 team in the RPI.
And we've seen in years past as well, there be a situation where a lot of things are equal, so the committee will look at, well, who did the best in the conference tournament, and a chance for both these teams to make a run is in the cards, hopefully, for after a win here today.
And that's the other thing available for Alabama as well, that top 10 win too. That would be a 7th RPI top 10 win for the Crimson Tide. Other people around them in the RPI, let me just tell you their top 10 win totals, if I may.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Yes, please do.
Texas Tech 2, Oklahoma State 2, Stanford 1, Oregon 5, Clemson 2, Virginia Tech 1, Arizona 1, Duke 2. So that's a lot of teams in that little quadrant that Alabama's in, where they have way, way, way more good stuff than the other side. And that is why tonight is so important, because you have a chance to even more so strengthen that profile ahead of hopefully a matchup with A&M tomorrow, and Selection Sunday coming up not too far away, partner. It's almost here.
It is right. We're about ready to roll with it. When we get back, we'll hear from Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy as he previews today's matchup. Our pregame visit with Coach Murphy is presented by CB&S Bank. CB&S Bank, bank anywhere at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. That's next as the Alabama softball pregame report continues here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Bama fans, this is Roger Hoover. Each Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, join us live for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This live streaming talk show features the latest on Alabama athletics, with exclusive conversations with Tide student athletes, coaches, and media members giving their perspective on the Crimson Tide. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and X, with all conversations archived as well on the Alabama Insider podcast. Roll Tide with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR.
Barkley makes it easy.
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barkleygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy.
Welcome back to the Alabama Softball pregame show ahead of the second round of the SEC softball tournament as the Crimson Tide takes on South Carolina. And it's time to chat with Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. Our conversation is presented by CB&S Bank. And, Coach, before we discuss the matchup tonight, we have to talk about last night. And I'm just going to say the name Salyn Hawkins. Wow.
Yeah, if I have a coughing fit right now, I apologize because I got a little something going on here. But just great defense by her. And then, lost in all that was a great catch by Abby Dukeshire on one of those where she basically did the splits at first base, fell on the ground, and hung onto a one-hopper that was a difficult play. So both of those young ladies were terrific in that play. But Salyn, robbed for sure. The one hit, and then maybe the one up the middle, too, off of Brisky's glove. Just played really good defense, and then Jocelyn did the rest.
Yeah, and that defense behind Brisky, who threw really well tonight and importantly got a complete game, really helped your team.
Oh, yeah, and, 8 strikeouts and against some of their best hitters. And she made pitches when she needed to, including the last kid, because I saw somewhere where they had the most comeback wins in the country. They were tied for first at one point. And so, here they are with a runner on and top of the 7th, but she made a really good pitch to the 9th spot, and she struck out. So really pleased with that effort by her.
And offensively, Salem a couple RBIs. Callie had a triple, which was really fun. And it seemed like the offense 1 through 9 really had a solid plan about what they were looking for against Karen.
Yeah, I thought, she's a crafty lefty. That's the best way to describe her. Because I'd look up and it was like 58, 59, 53, 52. You don't see that a lot, those numbers. And I was a little worried that we would roll over, try to pull too much. But when Salem went opposite field, Callie went opposite field, their right fielder took 2 hits away from 2 people again. That was good hitting on our part. So we hit the backside of the field, and just a good plan, I thought.
Moving on to tonight's matchup against South Carolina. Yesterday you said you like in this event to see teams you haven't seen. Tonight it's a team that you have seen in the last 72 hours in South Carolina. How does that familiarity in such a recent time frame maybe help you tonight?
Yeah, I was okay with the first round.
Yeah.
Now I'm okay with this. They did a really good job after the first game. We killed them 13-1, and then we walked 2 people, and they took advantage of probably a poor pitch and hit a home run, and then that was it. It was 3-1 game, and we had a couple chances, just didn't do enough offensively. So we're looking forward to playing them again. Both sides know each other now. We saw a lot of pitchers. They saw a lot of ours. So it should be a fun night. SEC softball under the lights is going to be fun.
And you're going with Caitlin Riley in the circle. She did throw a 1-hit complete game. Unfortunately, the 1 hit was out of the yard against South Carolina, but she threw really, really well in that game, too, against the Gamecocks.
Yeah, she, it was first inning, wasn't it? Yeah, and then they went hitless for the next 5. And also, I think she retired either 16 out of 17 or 17 out of 18. And there was 1 walk in there, We played really good defense behind her. It was a fast game. We didn't do enough offensively, so we got to do better tonight.
And really the one lineup change for you, Larissa Pruitt back in down in the 9 spot.
Yep. Hopefully she'll get to execute. We need somebody on in front of her to be able to do a couple plays that she can do. A couple of them. Salem's really good at handling the bat. Riley Valentine's good at handling the bat. If there's somebody on in front of them, we can call those plays.
Coach, thank you for joining us. Roll Tide.
Okay, thanks a lot. Roll Tide.
That's Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. Our conversation is brought to you by CB&S Bank. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups and more on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
The University Medical Center cares for West Alabama, with clinics in Tuscaloosa, Northport, Demopolis, Fayette, Carrollton, and Livingston. The doctors and staff at the University Medical Center offer services for patients of all ages. Visit umc.ua.edu to learn more about how the University Medical Center can help care for you and your family. That's umc.ua.edu to learn more.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek, Wetumpka, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek, Wetumpka. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Alabama One is a proud supporter of the University of Alabama Athletics. At Alabama One, we understand you have big life goals. Whether you're paying off student debt, buying a home, or retiring, your big life goals require healthy finances. As a full-service credit union, Alabama One offers our members the resources you need to reach your goals, including better rates than most banks and a full suite of products, including credit cards and loans for mortgages, cars, businesses, and land. Visit us in person or online, alabama1.org. Alabama One is an equal housing lender.
Sports bring us together, but sickness can keep us apart.
Swing and a miss. Brisky strikes out the side.
Competing for championships is in our DNA, but making sure our bodies are healthy is the ultimate game plan. Don't miss out on what matters most. Vaccines help keep you in the stands while we are on the field. Be here, be healthy. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN for more information. Roll Tide.
The starting lineups are presented by Alabama Power. Alabama Power is a proud supporter of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama Power, power for a better Alabama. Here is the starting lineup for the designated visiting team. The 10th seed, Alabama Crimson Tide. They are 37-20 overall. They finished the SEC at 12-12, and they advanced with the 3-2 win over Auburn yesterday in the first round of the SEC tournament. Center fielder Audrey Vandergriff will lead things off. Lauren Johnson, left field, batting second. Batting third is Callie Heflin, the second baseman. Marley Giles, the designated player, bats fourth. Batting fifth is Salyn Hawkins, the shortstop. Brooke Ellisad, third base, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Abby Dukeshire, the first baseman. Catching, batting eighth is Riley Valentine, and batting ninth, the right fielder, Larissa Pruitt. They'll face in the circle for South Carolina, the right-handed graduate from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the transfer from Charlotte, Sam Gress. That concludes the Alabama softball pregame report. First pitch is next here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
You can find all Crimson Tide Sports Network video content online on the CTSN YouTube page. It's the home of the live courtside cam, episodes of Crimson Drive driven by NASCAR, plus Hey Coach. Our YouTube shorts will deliver thrilling Alabama radio highlights, plus interview clips from Alabama student athletes and coaches that you can't miss. Subscribe to the Crimson Tide Sports Network on YouTube for the very latest on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Did you know that your largest organ is your skin? The Wound Care Center at DCH is an outpatient clinic focused on modern treatments for chronic wounds and non-healing sores. Our team is staffed with dedicated physicians, nurses, and therapists who specialize in treating chronic wounds and identifying their complex causes, circumstances, and challenges. When you need more than a Band-Aid, there's the DCH Wound Care Center. Learn more about our services at dchsystem.com/wound care.
About ready to get underway with the 7-10 matchup here in the second round of the SEC tournament. Alabama and South Carolina. Sam Gress wrapping up her warm-up pitches for South Carolina. She enters today's game with a 2.93 ERA. 12-8 is her record. 38th appearance and 13th start. She has 5 complete games. She's pitched 124 in the third innings, 114 hits, 55 runs, 52 have been earned. She's walked 47, struck out 91. Opponents batting .242 against Gress on the year, who Alabama had a lot of success in relief against Gress, and then Gress pitched well in the last 2 games for South Carolina. Audrey Vandergriff will lead things off. She steps in, and here comes the first pitch. And it's misses outside for ball 1.
Yeah, overall in the series last weekend, Sam Gress had a 6.82 ERA, but mixed in there is a complete game victory. You're going to see her throw mid-60s, but she can mix 3 speeds. Fastball, screwball, good change at 50. Rise and works east and west with some run.
Vandergriff swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Audrey batting .409. Batting with 65 hits and 159 at-bats. 48 runs scored, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 5 homers, and 30 runs driven in.
2 for 3 last night.
The 1-1. Misses outside, 2 balls and a strike.
It was, however, not a great series for Vandergriff against South Carolina. Just 2 for 8 with 3 RBIs. Both hits were doubles. A couple walks, 400 OBP, but it just felt like she wasn't doing much, causing much chaos.
Gress looks in, the 2-1 to Vandergriff. Off speed is high, 3 balls and a strike. The defensive alignment for the Gamecocks: Vincent in left, Lilio in center, Knight in right, Chansey at third, Blankenship at short, Shelton at second, Rhodey at first, with Winters catching Gress and Sellers at DP. Was the defensive alignment we saw all weekend, this past weekend in Columbia. The 3-1 is fouled back, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And still, South Carolina second in the SEC in fielding percentage, had those 3 errors in game 1. That's kind of what helped get that Alabama offense jump-started, but played clean softball in games 2 and 3. That was a big difference.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Vandergriff. And that one's drilled to deep left field. That one's way back. Way gone! Leadoff home run for Audrey Vandergriff, and the Crimson Tide takes the 1-0 lead.
You can check my texts. I sent Kaylee Tao a text pregame and said, I think if Alabama scores in the first inning, things could get really interesting. How about Audrey Vandergriff? Another home run this year against the top 10 team. Worked that at-bat well. Got a pitch from Gress. Elevated, moving outside. Just went with it. right over the left field wall. In a tournament where home runs have been kind of hard to come by, it's the Alabama leadoff who makes a statement in the first inning.
They've been starting to pick up as the afternoon and evening has come on here in day number 2. So Alabama takes a 1-0 lead with a leadoff homer, and Lauren Johnson is the batter. First pitch to Lojo, fouled away off her foot for strike 1. Johnson batting .373, 28 of 75, 23 runs scored with 7 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 23 runs driven in.
Yesterday, good day, 1 for 2 with a run scored, but also kind of struggled against South Carolina last week, was just 2 for 9. Again, both hits were doubles, drove in 2 runs, but just not on base consistently.
The 0-1 is low. They'll check down. She didn't go. 1 ball, 1 strike. That Bama home run brought to you by the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. Download now for free at the App Store and Google Play. Vandegrift, 6th home run and 31st RBI of the season. And Lauren Johnson with a fly ball, foul ground. It will get out of play. Down the left field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Johnson. Umpires for today's ball game. Chelsea Clark is behind home plate with Cameron Ellison at first and Marty Abazishan at third.
And we will let you know, folks, right now, we've done this for a long time. This is a really high-quality crew.
Yeah. One, 2. Off speed, drops in too low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Biggest key for Alabama offensively, as long as Gress is in the game, what are you doing with the changeup? Are you taking it? Are you sitting it? What are you doing? And that time, Johnson, I think, was timed up for it, but saw it was going to be low, held off.
That one is fair over the third base bag into the left field corner. Johnson will round first and head to second. And Lauren Johnson with a double over the third base bag. I thought runner on second now with nobody out.
I thought it clipped chalk. But again, this is why we really like this crew. I think Chelsea Clark hesitated for a moment and said, I'm going to call this fair because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
And if you call it foul, nothing can be done.
So don't write it down in ink yet.
Ruling on the field was a fair ball. South Carolina is challenging that ruling. The previous play is under further review.
Well, South Carolina is going to challenge. So as we wait for that challenge to be discussed and reviewed. The weather today here in Athens, 68 degrees at first pitch, cloudy skies. There was some rain earlier in the day, but not nearly as much as we thought there might be.
This is mighty close. I think this is foul, but it is mighty close.
And remember, the call on the field is fair, so it has to be.
After review, the ruling on the field is changed to a foul ball. The count is 2-2. This is South Carolina's first challenge of the game.
So they are going to change it to a foul ball. It's as close to a fair ball as it can be without it being fair.
Well, and the flaw in the system is that South Carolina loses their challenge for that, but I think Chelsea Clark handled that right. It was very close. Call it fair. Replay will help us out.
So now the 2-2, that one comes in low, and the count's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bama with a 1-0 lead off the leadoff homer by Audrey Vandegrift. Payoff pitch. High for ball 4. So Lauren Johnson doesn't get the double, but does get the walk, and Alabama has a runner on first with nobody out for Callie Hevlin.
Somebody, I can't tell who, but somebody's already warming up in the South Carolina pin down the third base line. Again, they've got kind of a big 3 that they like: Neely Lamb, Jory Hurd, and Sam Gress. Now comes Ashley Chastain Woodard to have a word with the entire South Carolina infield.
That is the first time Alabama has led off a game with a home run since Kaylee Tao did it against Texas A&M back in 2019.
Wow. So I referenced Kaylee Tao, and she was the last one to do it. That's awesome.
So Alabama has grabbed the momentum early and has a chance now with Callie Hevlin stepping up with a runner on first and nobody out. Hevlin on the year, batting .376, 56 of 149, 34 runs scored, 7 doubles, 4 triples. Leads the team with 13 homers and has 42 runs driven in.
Last night, 1 for 3 with an RBI triple and a run scored. Having an All-American type season, don't be shocked if she's mentioned for some end-of-the-year awards.
I should also point out, leads the team in triples.
Yes. She also hit 500 against Carolina last week.
First pitch is high and inside for ball 1. So again, the weather turned out much better today than what we were expecting. We'll see about tomorrow.
Taking it day by day.
Yes.
Welcome to the postseason.
That's what we do.
One pitch at a time.
The 1-0. Evelyn takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alabama leads the all-time series 49-23 over South Carolina. These two teams played last weekend to finish the regular season in Columbia. After the Tide run-ruled the Gamecocks in Game 1, Carolina came back to win the last 2 games in a weather-affected doubleheader on Saturday.
To say the least.
The 1-1 is high, 2-1. In SEC tournament play, Alabama is 0-3 all-time against South Carolina, but this is the first time in tournament play these two teams have met since the 2002 tournament in Chattanooga.
Those are the days of Coach Joyce, and South Carolina have been playing softball for a while up to then.
The 2-1, foul back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Overall in the SEC tournament, Alabama 47-29 with 6 tournament crowns. That is tied for the most SEC tournament crowns, which we know that will at least stay the same because Florida has 6 and they got eliminated. Not able to defend their title from last year. The 2-2. Havlin with a ground ball to second. Blankenship is there, makes a stop in the throw. For the first out of the inning, Johnson moves into scoring position with 1 out.
Got kind of on top of that drop ball. Don't see a lot of drop, but it is in the arsenal for Sam Gress. Went to it there, but it was such a slow roller. No chance for Blankenship to try and turn 2, and it's a productive out.
And that will bring up Marley Giles. Runner on second, 1 out. Bama trying to add to the 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. First pitch to Marley. Grounded, and that is touched, but it's touched foul down the third base line. 4 strike 1. Giles batting .280, 30 of 107, 26 runs scored, 6 doubles, a triple, 5 homers, and 22 runs driven in.
A nice 1 for 2 with a walk and a run last night, and against South Carolina, Tom hit a casual .875 last week.
The 0-1, Giles holds off on 1, a bit too high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I should note, it was not Gress who got her out. Gress never got her out. It was Neely Lamb who did get Marley to fly out.
Yep, her last at-bat against the Gamecocks in that rain-shortened 5-inning game. 1-1 is a line drive. That's going to get through for a base hit into center field. And Lauren Johnson had to hold up because Blankenship made a dive for it. And for a moment, Lauren thought that Blankenship might have made that catch, which, in her defense, Blankenship has made many a play along that line. So, but another base hit for Marley Giles puts runners on the corners and 1 away. Bringing up the star of yesterday's matchup with Auburn, Salyn Hawkins, who had those 5-star plays in the field as well as a sacrifice fly, which ended up being the game-winning run. First pitch comes in low for ball 1. Hawkins batting .317, 38 of 120, 21 runs scored, 6 doubles, a homer, and 17 runs driven in on the year.
Yesterday, like you said, great day, 1 for 2, couple RBIs, had that double as well. And she hit 500 against South Carolina last week.
1-0. Hawkins with a ground ball, a diving stop backhanded by the pitcher, and the throw is not caught cleanly. 1 run will come in to score. Hawkins takes second, and Lauren Johnson scores. It's 2-0 Crimson Tide.
Man, South Carolina had time here. They had a chance, and Gress, first off, makes an incredible play to stop this from being an infield dribbler. It looked like the throw was fine. I think Winters just took her eye off it. You know, I think that She was ready to make the tag before she had the ball. Throw drooped a little bit away, but that's a play you've got to make as a catcher. You got to help your pitcher out there. And Alabama takes advantage of what should be an error of some sort.
Yeah, we'll see what that final scoring decision is. But now runners are on second, third. There's still one out for Brooke Elistad. The first pitch to Elistad is low for ball one. Elistad on the year, batting .303, 46 and 152, 17 runs scored with 7 doubles, 2 triples, 8 homers, leads the team with 44 runs driven in. The 1-0. The bunt is down, back to Gress. They'll throw to first in time. There was a safety squeeze, so neither runner's moved from second or third. So that'll just be a ground out, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, South Carolina was up to the task right there. Good coverage by Shelton over at first base, and that's probably got to get a little bit further to the right because it was kind of up the middle. Really not a chance for Marley Giles to take off.
So now 2 outs, runners on second and third for Abby Dukeshire. Still waiting for the final scoring on the Hawkins play as the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Dukeshire batting .315, 41 of 130, 27 runs scored, 6 doubles, a triple, 7 homers, and 23 runs driven in.
Nice 2 for 3 game against Auburn, and also hit .400 kind of quietly against South Carolina.
Called strike, 0-2. So that will be a fielder's choice for Hawkins. Advancing to second on the throw, does get an RBI. And an error allows the runner to score. The 0-2, Dukeshire fouls it back. Look out, we got the glove. Do it again, no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the best moment of the day, there have been some great softball games. The best moment of the day was Amanda Scarborough ducking on the TV broadcast when a foul ball went into the TV booth. Just a great reminder. Keep your head on a swivel and protect the equipment.
Sure.
And Amanda said, I am the equipment. I am going under the desk.
Yes. With no regrets. Another 0-2 to Dukeshire. Nice pitch. I think it stayed a bit too high, and the count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's a really good changeup. I actually thought it was a bit too low.
Maybe low. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners on second and third. Bama leads at 2-0 here in the top of the first. 1-2, that one definitely is low, 2-2.
This is also a lot of pitches for Sam Grass, nearing 30 here in the top of the first.
Dukeshire fouls it off. Do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. One other note as well, Alabama's 47 SEC tournament wins is once again second most all time, as LSU's win earlier today put them at 48. So, neck and neck matchup.
The race is on.
Yes, indeed. Comes another 2-2 to Dukeshire. Comes in low, and the count's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here at Jack Turner, it's 190 down the lines, 220 to straightaway center field with the 8-foot wall all the way around in the outfield. The SEC now set is in right center field. Payoff pitch. Dukeshire pops it up, foul ground, and it will get out of play. Down the third base line. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Still a little bit early on that swing, but you can see Duke trying to get the timing right. Showing slap, pulling back. If she finds a gap here, man, that would be just gigantic. Anything in the grass, honestly. Murph is probably sending Salem Hawkins from second.
And Grass asks for time to reset the pitch clock. Another payoff pitch. Dukeshire, another foul ball. An extended at bat here by Abby Dukeshire.
Well, and remember, Tom, in that 13-1 win over South Carolina, what was the key? Long at bats and then hits with 2 strikes. That was what Alabama did really well in that game. So far today, none of the hits, except Vandegrift's home run, have come with 2 strikes, but the at-bats have been lengthy.
This is the 35th pitch of the inning coming from Gress. And Dukeshire waits on it, but pops it up on the infield, third base side. Underneath it to make the catch is Chansey for out number 3 to retire the side. But the Crimson Tide takes the lead here in the first inning. A leadoff homer by Audrey Vandegrift and an RBI fielder's choice for Salyn Hawkins as the Tide gets 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 2 left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Alabama 2, South Carolina nothing here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field.
The University Medical Center cares for West Alabama with clinics in Tuscaloosa, Northport, Demopolis, Fayette, Carrollton, and Livingston. The doctors and staff at the University Medical Center offer services for patients of all ages. Visit umc.ua.edu to learn more about how the University Medical Center can help care for you and your family. That's umc.ua.edu to learn more.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek, Wetumpka, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek, Wetumpka. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We head to the bottom of the first inning. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over South Carolina. Here is the Alabama Power starting lineup for the 7th-seeded South Carolina Gamecocks. They're 39-14 overall, 13-11 in SEC play, and they won their final 2 games of the regular season against Alabama. Leading things off is Quincy Lilio, the center fielder. Carly Shelton, second base, batting second. Ariana Rhodey, first base, batting third. Lexi Winters, catching, batting fourth. Ella Chansey, third base, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Brooke Blankenship, the shortstop. Abigail Knight, right field, batting seventh. Batting eighth is designated player Emma Sellers, and Emily Vincent, the left fielder, will bat ninth. They're facing the circle for Alabama, the right-handed senior from Dandridge, Tennessee, the transfer from Ole Miss, Caitlin Riley. Riley on the year with a 2.54 ERA, a 10-3 record, 33rd appearance, and 20th start. She has 3 complete games. She's pitched 107 2/3 innings. Here comes the first pitch to Quincy Lilio. It's a called strike. 108 hits, 53 runs, 39 have been earned. She's walked 36, struck out 59. Opponents batting .259 against Riley on the year.
Took the definition of a tough luck loss in Game 2 in Columbia.
The 0-1. Lilio squared around a bunt, didn't pull it back in time. It's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
Caitlin went complete. 6 innings, just 1 hit, but that 1 hit came in the first inning. It was a 3-run homer. Walked 3, did not record a strikeout. First innings have kind of been her issue this year. If she can get through this frame, you feel really good about the rest of the way.
The 0-2. Lilio swing and a miss. Strike 3. All tied up in knots there, and there's one gone.
There's that hard drop on the inner half from Caitlin Riley. That is not close to a strike. And I just read, Caitlin Riley went complete against South Carolina. No strikeouts. Starts tonight with a K on somebody in that lineup who's got a really good eye. Just the 9th time Lilio has struck out.
Carly Shelton steps in. First pitch to her is lined to left on the run, and unable to come up with it is Johnson. It gets all the way to the wall in the gap, and that is a double with 1 out for Carly Shelton. As South Carolina tries to answer back after Alabama's 2 runs in the top of the first.
Shelton just aggressive on a pitch that was way too elevated. Kind of hung up there a bit too much, and Johnson was taking a pretty aggressive line, but it was going to get over her head. Played that right off the fence, and just like that, immediate first inning pressure for Caitlin Riley.
Ariana Rhodey now the batter. First pitch to her. Grounded foul for strike 1. Rhodey batting .326, 43 of 132, 35 runs scored, 8 doubles, leads the team with 14 homers, as well as 46 runs driven in.
Really, really impressive player. The All-American from Charlotte was just 1 for 7, but did draw a couple key walks in the series last weekend.
The 0-1 from Riley is low. Defensively for the Crimson Tide, Johnson in left, Vandegrift in center, Pruitt in right, Ellisad at third, Hawkins at short, Hevlin at second, Dukeshire at first, Valentine behind the plate, catching Riley, and Giles is the DP. The 1-1. Grounded to third. It's knocked down by Ellisad, but it gets past her into left. Johnson will run it in. Runners are now on the corners with one out for South Carolina.
Yeah, tough one. That got on Ellisad really quickly. Had some squirrely spin on it, too. I thought for a moment it might have hit Brooke in the face. But all good. Everything's fine. And now runners on the corners. South Carolina is hitting the ball quite hard.
Yeah, that will be a single. So runners are on the corners with one out for the catcher, Lexi Winters.
She was the one who had the 3-run homer. It was also on the first pitch. So let's see what this opening throw from Riley is.
First pitch is a rise ball high for ball one. Winters batting .327, 48 of 147, 20 runs scored, 13 doubles, a triple, 5 homers, and 45 runs driven in. Takes that one low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Had the best weekend for the Gamecocks at the plate. Hit .429 with 4 RBIs.
2-0 pitch. Bounces in. The count moves to 3-0. 2-0 Alabama, but Carolina has runners on the corners with one out here in the bottom of the first inning. The 3-0 is low for ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk loads the bases with one out here in the first.
This sport is crazy. 3-pitch strikeout of Lelio, and then since then, first pitch double, 3rd pitch single, 4-pitch walk. It just happens so fast. And brings out Lance to talk to Riley, who again, most of the damage against her this year has been in the first inning. Caitlin's ERA in the first inning of her starts is over 5. Every other inning this year, it's barely over 2.
Meeting has wrapped up. And the third baseman, Ella Chansey, will be the batter. Chansey on the year, batting .304, 45 of 148, 34 runs scored, 13 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, and 32 runs driven in.
2 for 8 against the Tide with an RBI and a strikeout. Play it any base, so you're hoping for a ground ball here. At least get the out at home.
Here comes the first pitch. Is a ground ball up the middle. Stopped by Hawkins. She'll throw to second for 1. The throw from Hevlin was late to first, so can't turn the double play. A run does score, but you have 2 outs now.
Yeah, all the traffic made this one hard to turn 2 on. Runner flashing right in front of Hawkins. Kind of had to throw behind her to get to Hevlin, and the runner definitely impacted Callie's ability to quickly throw that over to first base.
So now 2-1 Alabama. 2 outs, runners on the corners for Brooke Blankenship. First pitch to Blankenship is fouled away for strike 1. Brooke Blankenship, FGCL, batting .277. 36 of 130, 28 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, and 31 runs driven in.
She was really good in the series. Hit .400, 125 career average in the SEC tournament.
The 0-1. There's called strike 0-2. And Blankenship, a vacuum at shortstop as well.
Yeah, really impressive. She'll be in the mix for all defensive team along with Salem Hawkins.
The 0-2. Grounded foul. Third base side. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes. 2-1 Alabama here in the bottom of the first.
It is a response. South Carolina had struggled with that this year, but actually did a much better job of it in the Alabama series. 21 of 74.
Riley looks in. Another 0-2. Grounded, and that's stopped backhanded by Salem Hawkins. A deep short, and what a play again by Salem Hawkins to get the out at first and keep South Carolina just to 1 run here in the inning.
Boy, that had trouble written all over it. It was deep in the hole. Blankenship is pretty quick. and it wasn't gloved cleanly by Hawkins. She kind of snow-coned it against the ground, but she has shown out that arm here this weekend. And, again, the Caitlin Riley stat, the first inning, I'm all right. If it's only the one run, that's fine. You've still got the lead.
For the Gamecocks here in the first, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We've played an inning, 2-1 Crimson Tide here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
The Alabama Insider Podcast is the official podcast of Crimson Tide Athletics. Catch full episodes of Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, Crimson Tide Rewind, Crimson Tide Today Daily Reports, plus full interviews from Crimson Drive driven by NASCAR. Download and subscribe to the Alabama Insider Podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and all podcast platforms. Roll Tide with the Alabama Insider Podcast.
Sports bring us together, but sickness can keep us apart.
Swing and a miss. Brisky strikes out the side.
Competing for championships is in our DNA, but making sure our bodies are healthy is the ultimate game plan.
It's a 15th trip to the Women's College World Series.
Don't miss out on what matters most. Vaccines help keep you in the stands while we are on the field. Be here, be healthy. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN for more information. Roll Tide.
The second inning is presented by the Bryant Museum, located on the UA campus just across from Coleman Coliseum. Open every day, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. except Mondays. Access online at bryantmuseum.com. 2-1 Alabama as we head to the second inning. 8-9-1 due up for Alabama. It's going to be Valentine, Pruitt, and Vandegrift. Sam Gress back out for her second inning of work. Valentine to lead things off, catching in today's ball game. Right-handed hitting. Here comes the first pitch. In there for a strike. Riley on the year, batting .217, 15 of 69, 12 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 7 runs driven in.
0 for 2 with the K last night, which was also her stat line against South Carolina last weekend.
The 0-1. Called strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
And this is where Grass, you get the strikes on the hard pitches. This is where you cook up that changeup. Going to be really thinking about it if you're Riley Valentine.
The 0-2 is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alabama in the crimson over white uniforms. The crimson baseball style jerseys outlined in white with white pants and the crimson socks. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gress never went off speed, just hard the whole way, and gets a strikeout for the first out of the second.
Well, the 0-2 was kind of that middle. It was like 58, and then Riley was way late. I'm not quite sure. I guess maybe she was timed up for the 58, but chased a rise that was 66. That's not the way to execute that one, unfortunately.
1 out, nobody on for Larissa Pruitt. Back in the starting lineup here today. First pitch. Called strike. Pruitt batting .284, 40 of 141, 34 runs scored, 8 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, and 21 runs driven in.
Getting her first AB of this tournament, all-time .267 hitter in this event.
The 0-1. Pruitt fouls it off. No balls and 2 strikes.
She was all right against Carolina last week. 1 for 6, did have a double, had a really long at-bat at one point in the third game, but against Gress struck out. And you can see Gress much better here in the second inning, attacking the strike zone.
The 0-2 pitch. Pruitt holds off on a check swing. She didn't go, says third base umpire Marty Abizishan. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good call, Marty. It's mighty close.
Yes.
Larissa's arms were saying go. Her wrists were saying no, hold on.
One, 2. Pruitt fouls it away. Carolina in the all-white uniforms, the white jerseys with Garnet Carolina and script across the chest. White pants, white socks with the garnet syrups, and the garnet pinstripes on both the jersey and the pants. The 1-2. Pruitt waits on that one and lines it through for a base hit into center field. It's misplayed by the center fielder, and Pruitt's going to try for two, and she's going to be out at second. Lilio came up, and the ball bounced away from her, and I don't think it got as far away as Pruitt thought it did.
Well, the problem was Larissa kind of stutter-stepped at first base. If she doesn't hesitate, she's probably fine, but she was just running that out like a basic single, and then unfortunately decided a little bit too late, which is really unfortunate because that was a really good piece of hitting on an elevated changeup.
So now there's 2 outs. Nobody on for Audrey Vandegrift, who led off the game with the solo homer. Puts this bunt down to Gress, and the throw is going to be in time to get Vandegrift for out number 3 to retire the side, and the Crimson Tide runs himself out of an inning here in the second, although Vincent Mann is out talking to Cameron Ellison.
Not quite sure why.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's anything that'll change the end of the inning.
Thought they might be going to challenge something, but nope. That will be the end of the inning. The Crimson Tide, no runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We head to the bottom of the second, 2-1. Alabama with the lead here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Barkley makes it easy.
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barkleygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy.
Sports bring us together, but sickness can keep us apart.
Swing and a miss. Brisky strikes out the side.
Competing for championships is in our DNA, but making sure our bodies are healthy is the ultimate game plan.
It's a 15th trip to the Women's College World Series.
Don't miss out on what matters most. Vaccines help keep you in the stands while we are on the field. Be here, be healthy. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN for more information. Roll Tide.
The second inning is presented by the Bryant Museum, located on the UA campus just across from Coleman Coliseum. Open every day, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., except Mondays. Access online at BryantMuseum.com. We head to the bottom of the second. Bama with a 2-1 lead over Carolina. Due up for the Gamecocks here in the second. Bottom of the order, Knight, Sellers, and Vinson. 7-8-9. Caitlin Riley back out now for her second inning of work.
Leading off the bottom of the second inning for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Abigail Knight starting things off. Batting .310, 44 of 142, 29 runs scored, 10 doubles, 2 homers, and 32 runs driven in. First pitch is popped up on a check swing. Catch made by Salem Hawkins in front of the second base bag. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second.
And that's clearly the plan for South Carolina. They are attacking very early in the count against Caitlin Riley. She does love to get ahead. So really, since Lilia, we've seen all the hitters be very aggressive.
Emma Sellers steps in. The first pitch to her is low and away for ball 1. Sellers batting .302, 16 of 53, 9 runs scored, a double, a triple, and 9 RBIs.
Against Alabama was 1 for 5 with an RBI, a walk, 2 Ks, and a run.
1-0 pitch. Maybe touch out.
Little out.
2-0.
Sellers also all-time in the SEC tournament, a .333 hitter. 8 and 9 were a bit of an issue last night for Brisky against Auburn.
2-0. Grounded, and that's going to be, nice diving stop by Elisad. Unfortunately, it's in foul ground. 2-1. Alabama's head coach is Patrick Murphy in his 27th season. An Alabama head coaching record of 1,314 victories, 395 losses, a .769 winning percentage. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Assistant coach, Caleb Breaux, who got some TV airtime.
Yeah, a 5-minute segment with the SEC Now gang. Alyssa Lang, Tori Vidalis, and the great Haley McClenny. It's a cool video. Go check it out. It's on Alabama social media.
That one is grounded foul. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitching coach for the Crimson Tide is Lance McMahon. The hitting coach is Adam Arbor. Coordinator of player development, Ryan Iamurray. Director of softball operations, Jaden Spencer. Athletic trainer, AC Atinka. Strength and conditioning coach, Michelle Diltz. Sports information director, the SID extraordinaire, Nathan Sheehan. That one is popped up again in foul ground. A nice catch. Oh, yeah. Great catch.
See, Amanda, that's how it's done.
Yes, you bring your glove, you make the catch.
It's good stuff. Well done. And that's a youngster, a youngin', if you will.
Yes. And the event staff will be booed when they come and try to take the ball away from her. That one bounces in. And the count is full 3-2, I think. No, they're going to let her keep it.
She made the catch. It's a clean play.
100%.
Maybe that's the rule.
If you have to catch it on the fly. Sorry, Mr. Hevlin. Payoff pitch is grounded to short. Stop made by Hawkins. The throw's there, and there's 2 away.
Those are the type of outs you really want if you're Caitlin Riley. That's a drop ball that Sellers gets right on top of. And it's a high chopper, but a very makeable play for Salem Hawkins.
Now 2 out, nobody on for left fielder Emily Vinson, the 9-hole hitter, batting 196. First pitch just misses for ball 1. 19 of 97, 23 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 11 RBIs on the year.
Had just 1 hit in the series, but it was a big one, that 2 RBI single in Game 3.
And that one's back up the middle through for a base hit for Vinson. So South Carolina with 2 outs keeps the inning alive and turns the lineup over.
Yeah, just got right on top of that elevated pitch from Caitlin Riley. Smoked middle. And that was a hard swing, very high exit velocity on that one from Vinson.
So now 2 outs, runner on first for Quincy Lilio, who struck out her first time. First pitch, this is low and away for ball 1. Finishing the support staff for Alabama, Scott Moyer is the video director. Equipment manager is Sue Moore. Kent Gidley, the photographer.
Something cool is happening, Tom.
Lilio takes that one low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Yes.
Our friends Beth Mowens and Michelle Smith are trying to figure out the name of the young lady who made the catch, and I think they're going to bring her on TV.
That one comes in low. Didn't go. 3-0.
Very cool. Faith Ramirez.
The 3-0 to Lilio is a called strike. 3-1.
Have not seen Caitlin Riley mix a ton as of yet. You know, she's got multiple speeds. That change has been hanging just a little bit, but that off-speed curve has been what's been super dastardly in her best performances.
Lilio pulled back the bunt, and it's ball 4. So now runners are on first and second with 2 outs for South Carolina. That will bring up Carly Shelton, who doubled and scored for her first time.
Now batting second baseman number 33, Carly Shelton.
There is activity in the Bama pin. Cannot tell who it is. I would think there's a chance, though, Brisky could appear tonight later on.
First pitch to Shelton is a fly ball to shallow left. Charging in is Vandergriff. She makes a big catch for out number 3 to retire the side, and Alabama gets out of danger here in the second, holding on to the lead for the Gamecocks in the second. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. We played 2. It's 2-1 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Bama fans, this is Roger Hoover. Each Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, join us live for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This live streaming talk show features the latest on Alabama athletics with exclusive conversations with Tide student athletes, coaches, and media members giving their perspective on the Crimson Tide. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and X, with all conversations archived as well on the Alabama Insider podcast. Roll Tide with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR.
Alabama One is a proud supporter of the University of Alabama Athletics. At Alabama One, we understand you have big life goals. Whether you're paying off student debt, buying a home, or retiring, your big life goals require healthy finances. As a full-service credit union, Alabama One offers our members the resources you need to reach your goals, including better rates than most banks and a full suite of products, including credit cards and loans for mortgages, cars, businesses, and land. Visit us in person or online, alabama1.org. Alabama One is an equal housing lender.
The third inning is presented by Bojangles. The new and improved Bojangles app. Bring the flavor to your tailgate with chicken biscuits and fixings by downloading the Bojangles app to order ahead for tailgates and whenever it's bow time. It's not a tailgate without Bojangles. We head to the third, 2-1 Alabama. Due up for the Tide in the third, 2-3-4 Johnson, Hevlin, and Giles against Sam Gress in the circle for South Carolina. Before I turn things over to my partner, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Johnson will step to the plate, and for the third inning, I'll turn things over to my partner, Gray Robertson.
Thanks, Tom. Let's see what we can create here.
You did good yesterday.
I'll try my best. Lojo walked and scored in the first. First pitch from Sam Gress. Skips in for ball one. And that was pitch 44 for Sam Gress. 33 of those came in the first inning.
Yeah.
So more of the first, less of the second, in my analytical opinion.
Agreed. I'm down for that.
You've always been down, Tom.
Thank
Appreciate it. My zany ideas. The 1-0. Johnson sends that to second. Beautiful backhand and a nice little flip from Shelton for the first out. That could have been a little bit of trouble. Just didn't come off the bat fast enough to get through the middle.
Yeah, and a good play. Like you said, a charging backhand, which is not easy to do at all by Shelton to get that first out.
And I'll bring up Callie Hevlin, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out. That's looped to short and caught on a leap by Blankenship for out number 2. That was a jam job that I thought Callie might be able to muscle out to left field, but instead, 2 gone, nobody on.
Yeah, tough luck there for Callie.
So that also significantly means nobody on for Marley Giles, who Sam Gress has not gotten out yet this year. Single back in the first. First pitch. Giles shows bunt, pulls it back. It was a change low for ball one.
For South Carolina, their head coach is Ashley Chastain Woodard in her first season back at her alma mater after a successful stint at Charlotte. Associate head coach Katie Browder, assistant coaches Jody Davidson and Zach Parsons.
2-1 Alabama, the 1-0 to Marley Giles. Shows bunt, pulls it back. It's a strike, 1-1. Also shout out to Ashley Chastain Woodard, who came up to me pregame and said, "I do not have an Xbox, I'm so sorry." It was a tweet that I sent during a rain delay last week. So, love it. Good sense of humor. Done a great job with this program and this team. Quick turnaround. 1-1 from Gress. Giles again shows bunt. This time it curls in for a strike, 1-2. Just outside on the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
With the win today, Alabama would advance in the SEC tournament to take on the number 2 seed Texas A&M Aggies tomorrow. Airtime sometime in the 6 o'clock hour.
Ish. TBD.
But we'll have it for you here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
2-2 to Giles. That's low. Full count.
For the loss, Bama would head home and await Sunday's selection show to see their fate in the NCAA tournament.
A fate that I firmly believe the numbers tell us is a home weekend next weekend in regionals.
Yep.
Barring something totally unprecedented from the selection committee. 3-2 pitch to Giles. That's fouled away. 2 outs, nobody on. 2-1 Alabama over South Carolina here in the top of the third.
Crimson Tide Sports Network coverage continues with Crimson Drive Thursday afternoons on all Crimson Tide Sports Network social media outlets. Crimson Drive is live each Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time, so be sure to join host Roger Hoover for the latest on Alabama athletics.
Another payoff upcoming to Marley. It's a change, hit to short. Blankenship backs up. The throw to first is in time, and for the first time all year, Sam Gress does get Giles out. And it's another 1-2-3 inning, Tom. Not necessarily as efficient as the second, but Sam Gress clearly getting more comfortable.
Yeah, Alabama got a couple of hard-hit balls there, but unfortunately right at the fielders for South Carolina, and now it's going to be up to Caitlin Riley to keep on rolling like she is.
Yep, back to you, Caitlin. We go to the bottom of the third. Alabama leads the Gamecocks 2-1 here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Your moment has arrived. It's time to shed the normal day-to-day version of yourself and let your most fabulous self loose. Make your way to Wind Creek, Wetumpka, because whatever your idea of fabulous is, this is where you'll find it. Wind Creek, Wetumpka. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Strike out ants, termites, and other pests with a call to Cook's Pest Control. Cook's proven pest control methods and Centricon termite control system keep your home safe and are backed by a 110% satisfaction guarantee. As the weather gets warmer, your spring cleaning isn't done until you call Cook's Pest Control for your free inspection.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
The third inning is presented by Bojangles and the new and improved Bojangles app. Bring the flavor to your tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings by downloading the Bojangles app to order ahead for tailgates. And whenever it's bow time, it's not a tailgate without Bojangles. And it's not an Alabama-South Carolina softball game without it being in the last 7 days, because this is the 4th time these teams have met since last Thursday. Alabama leads the Gamecocks 2-1 as we go to the home half of the third. South Carolina's got 3-4-5 due up. Rhodey, Winters, and Chansey against Caitlin Riley. Back out in the circle. Looking for one of those patented, efficient Caitlin innings after what Sam Gress did in the second and third. And Ariana Rhodey is in, single back in the first. First pitch off speed in there for a strike. 0-1 on the All-American. Now the 0-1 to Rhodey. That's laced to short. It was not caught by Hawkins, or maybe it was. Either way, she threw to first in time, and there's one out.
Of course Salem caught it.
Of course she did.
What are you
Come
talking
on.
about?
In her direction, please. I'll bring up Lexi Winters, who walked on 4 pitches back in the first. First pitch. Drop low, 1-0. I will say, Tom, I've been impressed by South Carolina's adjustments, because last weekend they were a little passive, if not kind of just waiting, trying to work the count. Tonight they've really gone after Riley as the 1-0 misses low, and Riley Valentine couldn't believe it. 2-0.
She said it was low.
I mean, if it missed anywhere, it certainly missed low. That's now 6 balls thrown to Winters. The 2-0 is fouled off, 2-1.
So great. We did one during our extended pregame, but it's now time for a scoreboard update brought to you by the Out of the Box podcast. Check out the latest episode of the Out of the Box podcast, part of the Softball America Podcast Network. Wherever you get your podcasts, give us a follow at outofthebox_pod on the X. Like, subscribe, and share.
First, the 2-1 to Lexi Winters. That's low, 3-1. So we did it earlier, but we'll zoom through the SEC tournament in particular and then some national scores. LSU over Mississippi State 5-0. Tigers have Oklahoma tomorrow at 10 Central. Arkansas 5-1 over Georgia. Hogs have Tennessee tomorrow in the 4-5. 3-1 from Caitlin Riley is low. That's another walk to Winters. Base runner with 1 out for South Carolina here in the third. And Ole Miss beat Florida in extras 6-3. So the Rebs get Texas tomorrow at 4 Central Time. All those games televised on the SEC network. Here is Ella Chansey, RBI fielder's choice in the first. First pitch, called strike, 0-1. Nationally, a couple things of note. Currently at the Big Ten tournament, Purdue leads Northwestern 3-1. Purdue, the host team.
In scenic West Lafayette.
I've always said. Here's the 0-1. That off-speed rise is high, 1-1. In the ACC tournament, bottom of the 6th, North Carolina up 2-0 on Notre Dame. And a wacky finish in the Big 12 tournament. First, the 1-1 from Caitlin Riley. Reached for it to Chansey. It's foul, 1-2. So UCF had a situation, let's just say. Going into the 6th inning, they were up 5-0 on Utah. Utah broke the situation. Then in the top of the 7th, Utah scored 5 runs to tie it. Then UCF had a 2-run walk-off homer to win 7-5.
Wow. Had him all the way.
Sure. 1-2. Chansey smoked out to right center. That will get all the way to the wall. This is probably going to tie the game. Winters races home. This will even us at 2 as Chansey just smacked that right out to right center, and Vandegrift kind of slipped trying to field it. RBI for Ella Chansey. All square here in the bottom of the 3rd with 1 out. And it's a double as well with Chansey standing on second.
Yeah, Vandegrift not only slipped, but she overran it to begin with, and it took a hop away from her, so any chance Vandegrift might have had to keep that runner from scoring went by the wayside. And yeah, Chansey, like you said, just absolutely smoked that ball in the right center field gap.
And up comes Brooke Blankenship, who grounded out in the 1st. First pitch. That is hit foul down the right field line, out of play. 0-1. Other finals from today. Virginia walked off Louisville 3-2. Stanford beat Pitt 9-2. Penn State over Iowa 6-2. A lot of 2s. The 0-1. Blankenship laces that to right. Pruitt's there. She'll make the catch. Another loud out, but it's an out. 2 gone.
Yeah, Carolina,
they're prepared.
Yeah, they're barreling a lot of stuff up, and here comes Lancet Mann. I know he's seeing exactly what we are, is that even in that out, it's being extremely loud right now for the Gamecocks in the 3rd inning.
Other big score to discuss. Georgia Tech run-ruled Cal 8-0 in 5. That is a metrically gigantic result for Alabama. Knocks out Cal from the top 25 of the RPI. Possibly moves in Georgia. And finally, Indiana 2-0 over Washington, and Baylor 7-3 over Kansas. Michigan 3-2 over Wisconsin. Here it's 2-2. Runner on second, 2 outs, and the first pitch to Abigail Knight is outside for ball 1. Knight popped out in the 2nd. Now the 1-0 from Caitlin Riley. Drop misses low, 2-0. Got to keep that damage minimal. Cannot give up the lead in this game. 2-0. Strike. 2-1. Now the pitch from Riley, off speed, hit towards right, and Callie Heflin lays out. Oh my gosh. She said, Salyn Hawkins, you're not getting all the middle love. I'm going to dive into right field and rob a hit and keep this game tied at 2. 2, South Carolina 2. Time for an answer here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. And University Boulevard, or order online at Nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. Buckle up, America. This is going to be one of those wacky SEC tournament games. We're tied up at 2 going to the 4th. Alabama has 5, 6, 7 due up against Sam Gress in the circle. And Tom, Alabama's made it a little bit too easy for Gress the last 2 innings after making her really labor in the first with 33 pitches, a total of 20 in the last 2 frames. And a big reason why, Gress is being more aggressive early in the count, and that's kind of, I think, thrown Alabama's plan a little out of whack.
Yeah, and, you know, this is an Alabama team that wants to be aggressive. One of the reasons why they are toward the bottom in the standings in the SEC in walks is because they want to hit. They come up aggressive a lot, and Gress had them off balance there, especially in the third inning. Got the first 2 outs and I think 3 pitches. So Alabama going to have to go a little bit against type here to try to get back on track in this game.
And it will be Salem Hawkins leading off as Holly Rowe takes her time with Patrick Murphy in the in-game interview. So whatever. I'll just go ahead and toss it back to you, Tom.
Thank you so much, Gray. Sam Gress will be out for her 4th inning of work. Gress has gone 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. 53 pitches and 33 strikes thrown by Gress so far here in the ball game. Bama 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. Carolina 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 5 runners left on base. Salem Hawkins will be the batter. She reached on an RBI fielder's choice her first time.
See if she attacks early in the count with Gress being more aggressive.
First pitch comes in low for ball 1.
And also, I just cannot say again how good the defense has been for Alabama this weekend in this tournament. I mean, that catch from Hevlin saved a run, and she was the only one who could get there.
The 1-0 is high, 2 balls and no strikes. Grady, you know the date.
May.
It is May.
Something.
Close.
Is it?
Almost there.
38th.
Well, now you're gone. The 2-0. Called strike 2-1. It is May 7th.
Oh.
7. And on this date, Alabama 9-4 all time.
Okay, good.
Now scoring opponents 77-42. Some interesting games on this date.
I'm sure you'll get to them.
First the 2-1. Hawkins with a fly ball to left. That's going to fall for a base hit. It bounces away from the left fielder on the dive, and Hawkins stays at first. And she's on base once again. The leadoff single here in the 4th.
I know Salem knew to stay, but I love that both of us immediately held our hands up like, no, you will stay on first base, because it kind of disrupts the rhythm of South Carolina. It kind of felt like things were trending more towards the type of game the Gamecocks want.
Yes.
Any kind of pause to that energy that Alabama can create here in the 4th, even if you don't score, is a good thing.
Brooke Ellisad's the batter. She's 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch is high for ball 1. The Tide has played 2 SEC tournament games on this date, run ruling Arkansas 8-0 in the 2009 tournament in Knoxville, and then getting a 2-1 win over Georgia in the 2015 tournament in Baton Rouge.
I have a thought.
The 1-0. Swung on a miss, 1-1.
You remember the olden days when you played Arkansas and it was like, oh,
yeah,
easy run rule. And now this league is to a point where Arkansas is like a lock Supers host, and
probably has the National Player of the Year.
Yeah, Courtney Deifel's done such a good job there, and this conference is so difficult.
1-1. Elstad fouls it away. 1 ball, 2 strikes on a check swing. And Georgia, 2014 was when they won the SEC tournament. That was the opening round for both, or I think it was the quarterfinals, but it was the first game for both Alabama and Georgia in 2015. And since Georgia won that game, or won the tournament in 2014, they have not won 2 games in a tournament since.
Absurd.
Just crazy. The 1-2. Elstad waits on this one and lines it to center, but the catch is made by Lilio for the first out of the inning. And Brooke Elstad just needs something to fall.
Yeah, and she did a really good job there. I mean, did everything you're supposed to do on the changeup, waited on it. Just unfortunately a little bit too much of that upspin impacted that ability to drop in center field.
So now 1 out runner on first for Abby Dukeshire, who popped up her first time. First pitch. Called strike on the inside corner. Last time out on this date, Bama dropped the final game of the 2023 regular season when Ole Miss walked off the Tide 5-4 in Oxford.
How dare you?
In one of the most inexplicable 7th innings.
What a weird weekend that was.
Either of us have ever seen. The 0-1 drops low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I mean, remember how game 1 was the Montana perfect game?
Right.
And then the Jenna 7th inning home run, and then that?
Right. Just nuts.
And then we went to Fayetteville and thought, it'll be fine. Nothing could go wrong here.
Oh, man. The 1-1. Dukeshire on one hop to third, a backhanded play on the dive by Chansey. She throws to first to get Dukeshire, and Hawkins moves to second. There's now two away.
I'm not quite sure that needed to be done by Chansey. I think she was in a good position. And actually, I think that kind of hurt the capability to maybe get to Hawkins as fast, but you would have had a shot at a lead runner. Instead, she hit the dirt and only had one play.
So now two outs, runner on second for Riley Valentine. She struck out her first time. First pitch. Checked her swing. Oh, it's a called strike.
Okay.
0-1. That one came in high. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, runner on second. Tied up at 2. Alabama and South Carolina here in the top of the 4th. And Winters is going to go out to talk with Gress after that pitch missed. Winter takes on the number 2 seed Texas A&M Aggies tomorrow. And Ashley Chastain Woodard's also going to come out and discuss things with everyone.
My guess is the conversation is, hey, go after Riley Valentine. You know, she is only hitting 200 this year, RISP 184 with runners on, and I wasn't quite sure what she was timed up for in her first at-bat. So if I'm Ashley Chastain Woodard, I am telling Sam Gress, go right after her. And if I'm Riley Valentine, I'm understanding the challenge that is being put out in front of me right now. This is a chance to answer. Ball in the grass, you're getting the lead right back.
2 of the 3 games so far today here in the tournament in the second round have been seed upsets. Alabama trying to make that 3 out of 4.
Not opposed.
Setting up a quarterfinals, different than most people predicted.
Like you?
By most people, I mean me. The 1-1. Valentine with a fly ball to the left. Right there to make the catch is Vincent for out number 3 to retire the side. So the tie gets a runner in scoring position here in the 4th, but can't get her in, and we're tied up at 2.
And it's another non-response by Alabama. It just puts so much pressure on you to stay aggressive defensively and in the circle, and South Carolina's plan has been good tonight. And Alabama's got to be really, really sharp the rest of the way if they want to win this game. And they'll do it with a new pitcher.
In the 4th for the Crimson Tide, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 4th, tied up at 2. Here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
If you hear the words, you have cancer, know you're not alone. At DCH's Lewis and Fay Manderson Cancer Center, we provide cancer care close to home with comprehensive services in a friendly, relaxed atmosphere. West Alabamians diagnosed with cancer have access to our state-of-the-art facility, highly skilled staff, and the most advanced equipment available. And if needed, our inpatient cancer care unit is right next door at DCH Regional Medical Center. Learn more at dchsystem.com/cancer.
Barkley makes it easy.
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barkleygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy.
We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bama and South Carolina tied up at 2. Due up for the Gamecocks here in the 4th. Sellers, Vincent, and Lilio, and they'll face a new pitcher for the Crimson Tide as Caitlin Riley will give way to Jocelyn Brisky.
Brisky threw really well last night. The season ERA sits at 2.64, 16-11 on the season, 40th appearance. 151 innings right on the money, 136 hits, 77 runs, 57 earned, 71 walks, 109 Ks for Brisky, who went the full way last night against Auburn. 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, and 8 Ks. Did not fare super well against South Carolina, but also that, like, statistically didn't fare well. I thought she pitched all right. Yeah. It's going to be really important that she finds the zone very quickly against the Gamecocks.
The fourth inning is presented by Nukes, and Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball, and this pitching change is brought to you by Barkley GMC, the best place to buy a vehicle in Tuscaloosa, and proud sponsors of the Crimson Tide. Visit barkleygmc.com today. Barkley makes it easy. Caitlin Riley went 3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 50 pitches, and 30 strikes. And what we were talking about, I think Lance McMahon saw it, Patrick Murphy saw it. South Carolina was really starting to barrel up Caitlin Riley in that last inning.
Kind of were the whole time. I mean, they were just seeing her really well. They had a very sound plan.
First pitch from Brisky to Emma Sellers, misses high for ball 1. Sellers 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out.
Again, Brisky bringing that higher velocity. That was at 65. She can get up to 70, though.
That one's low. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left for Bama. 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, 5 left for Carolina. 2-0 is in there for a strike, 2-1, and 1 other change for Alabama. Marley Giles is now catching for the Crimson Tide, moving Riley Valentine to the DP position.
I see somebody else get a crack.
Yeah.
Next time that part of the order's up.
2-1. Fouled straight back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now the Box Podcast scoreboard update. Purdue leads Northwestern 3-1, but in the bottom of the 4th, it looked like it was 3-2. Leadoff single and then an RBI triple, except they reviewed it, and the runner at first left early.
Oh, man. The 2-2. Fouled off at the plate. Seller stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Haven't seen that nearly as much this year. It was quite the story last year of people getting called for leaving early.
At just random times.
Right. Rules changed a little bit as far as what that can be reviewed there. That one's lined to short, and oh my gosh!
Stop it!
Leaping grab by Salyn Hawkins.
This girl can't be stopped!
She snow-coned it at the very apex of the leap. Line drive by Sellers, catch made by Hawkins, and there's 1 down. Sports Center top 10.
Please, for the love of everything that is good,
make up for the snub yesterday as the first pitch is high for ball 1 to Emily Svensson.
I mean, what's she been eating lately? What are they serving at the hotel?
The 1-0. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Benson, who singled her first time.
And that's so huge because it keeps the lead off base. And that's kind of where South Carolina has generated the most against Alabama pitching.
1 hopper to third. Elstad's there. Easy throw. There's 2 away. Now we go back to the top of the order. Quincy Lilio. 0 for 1. She struck out in the first and walked in the second. First pitch to her. This is a little bit high for ball 1. 2 out, nobody on. 2-2. Alabama and South Carolina here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
One other final. North Carolina did finish off Notre Dame 2-0 in the ACC tournament.
1-0. Low, 2 balls and no strikes. Lilio, redshirt junior from Oceanside, California, the transfer from Oklahoma.
FGCL.
As well.
Believe won Offensive Player of the Year her year with the Circus.
2-0 is in there for a strike, 2-1. I think that was that the first year of the league or the second year?
Oh, no, that was like 22, maybe.
Okay.
That might have been 3rd year. I mean, she's just a junior, Tom.
A redshirt. That one's grounded to second. Stop made by Hevlin, and that's a 1-2-3 4th. pitched by Jocelyn Brisky.
And just a clean sheet is so nice because it kind of settles things. Again, it kind of feels like Alabama's starting to wrestle some of that energy back from South Carolina. You got 9-1-2 due up. If there's a chance to strike back and get something on the board, it feels like it's right now.
All right, fans, it's time for the...
For Carolina in the fourth, 3 up and 3 down. We played for 2-2. Alabama, South Carolina here in the second round of the SEC tournament on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
The Alabama Insider Podcast is the official podcast of Crimson Tide Athletics. Catch full episodes of Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, Crimson Tide Rewind, Crimson Tide Today Daily Reports, plus full interviews from Crimson Drive driven by NASCAR. Download and subscribe to the Alabama Insider Podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and all podcast platforms. Roll Tide with the Alabama Insider Podcast.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year and had chemo and radiation at DCH's Lewis and Faye Madison Cancer Center. I'm thankful for the support of my nurse Kate, my breast navigator Katrina, my doctors, and the whole staff. I have felt confident like I was the most important person there, before, during, and after. Tuscaloosa is blessed to have such an excellent team at the Madison Cancer Center.
Great things are happening at DCH.
The fifth inning is presented by Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is more than fast and more than signs. Request a free quote from Fast Signs for all your business visibility needs. Fast Signs of Tuscaloosa is a proud supporter of Crimson Tide softball. We head to the top of the fifth inning. Alabama and South Carolina knotted up at 2. Pruitt, Vandegrift, and Johnson due up for Alabama, and they'll be facing a new pitcher for South Carolina, and it is the junior righty from Algonquin, Illinois, Jory Hurd.
FGCL and a 2.82 ERA, 15-3 record, 119 innings, 108 hits, 55 runs, 48 earned, 38 walks, 99 Ks.
First pitch, Larissa Pruitt, is a called strike.
Fastball, screwball, high 60s, so that's the big shift, more velocity. She'll work more up in the zone, off-speed pitch at about 59, and she took the lone loss last week to Alabama.
Pruitt goes opposite way to left, but the catch is made by Vinson for out number 1.
Hurd in that Bama series only threw in game 1. Inning and a third, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and 1 K. And is the only pitcher on this Carolina staff that has SEC tournament experience.
Audrey Vandegrift will be the batter, 1 for 2 with the solo homer in the first and a ground out in the second. First pitch is a called strike. Gress went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 67 pitches, 42 strikes. Thrown by Gress.
Threw well enough to where I don't think tonight's performance is why she's being pulled.
And this is inside, 1-1.
I think part of it is South Carolina thinking ahead a little bit, being like, hey, you know, we've got the 3 arms, let's use them. If this is how we have to operate in the postseason, we want to make sure that everyone's capable and ready to do just that.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes now on Vandegrift. Vandegrift fouls it off. And also, if you're South Carolina, yes, Alabama lit up Jory Hurd, but they didn't see a whole lot of her.
That was a while ago.
And yeah. So probably saw the least of the 3 big ones.
Oh.
That's a little bit outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Look down. Holly Rowe now interviewing Faith Ramirez. She has become the star of the game.
Shout out to Faith Ramirez.
The youngster who caught that foul ball earlier on. That's a ground ball to second. Stop made. The throw is going to be in time from Shelton for out number 2.
Yeah, kind of a late swing there by Vandegrift, and you know that's the kind of slow roller that you hope she has a chance to beat out. The problem was there was no hop to it. It was basically a worm burner once it hit the dirt.
Now 2 out, nobody on for Lauren Johnson. 0 for 1 with a ground out, a walk, and a run scored. First pitch fouled away for strike 1. Two teams in the 10-7 matchup battling to face Texas A&M tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes.
Already significant improvement for Jory Hurd since the last time we saw her in person, and it's all about the location. She's locating that rise ball a lot better, especially in on the hands like that one right there to Lauren Johnson that she fouled off.
And that swung on and missed. 4 strike 3 as Lojo chased her eyes, and the Tide goes down in order here in the 5th. Third time today, Alabama's only sent 3 batters to the plate.
And again, a very relatively quick inning. I mean, Vandegrift fought for a bit, but Lauren Johnson was just kind of hoping on that rise ball chase. And now back to you, Brisky.
We head to the bottom of the 5th. We stretch here at the Jack. 2-2, Alabama, South Carolina here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field.
Get ready to rev up your engines and feel the excitement at Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac. We've got the perfect ride to match your style and adventure. Visit us at our showroom at Skyland Boulevard and let our friendly team help you find the vehicle of your dreams. Barkley Buick GMC Cadillac, where hometown pride and unbeatable deals collide. Drive with passion with Barkley. Visit us today or check us out online at barkleygmc.com.
Barkley makes it easy. Sports bring us together, but sickness can keep us apart.
Swing and a miss. Brisky strikes out the side.
Competing for championships is in our DNA, but making sure our bodies are healthy is the ultimate game plan. Don't miss out on what matters most. Vaccines help keep you in the stands while we are on the field. Be here, be healthy. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMN for more information. Roll Tide.
The 5th inning is presented by Fast Signs Tuscaloosa. Fast Signs Tuscaloosa is more than fast and more than signs. Request a free quote from Fast Signs for all your business visibility needs. Fast Signs Tuscaloosa is a proud supporter of Crimson Tide softball. We head to the 5th, tied up at 2, Alabama and South Carolina. Here in the second round of the SEC tournament, due up for the Gamecocks here in the 5th, Shelton Rhodey and winners 2-3-4. Facing for the first time today, Jocelyn Brisky, who pitched a 1-2-3 4th in relief.
Bottom of the 5th inning for the South Carolina Gamecocks, second baseman number 33, Carly Shelton.
Carly Shelton steps in, and here comes the first pitch from Brisky. High and inside for ball 1. Shelton 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the first and had to fly out in the second.
Increasing that conference lead in doubles up to 18 on the year, which is a lot.
It is. The 1-0. Swung and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And this is the heart of the South Carolina order as well. You've got Shelton, who outside of Lelio leads the way in batting average, and you got the big bopper Rhodey. Winters has been really effective against the Tide.
1-1 comes in low, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. On a rise, she went too far around. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 to Shelton. Chopper up the middle, backhanded play by Hevlin. She'll try to make the throw, but it's not going to be in time, and that's going to be a leadoff infield single by Carly Shelton. Would lead off the 5th inning.
Yeah, change up. More off speed than change from Brisky that came in at 62. Shelton would have been late on something quick, but instead was able to hit it right back up the middle. Good stop by Hevlin to make sure it didn't get to center, but not the start you wanted here in the 5th.
Ariana Rhodey, the batter. First pitch is drilled to deep left field. That one is back and gone. 2-run homer by the Carolina home run leader, and the Gamecocks take the lead here in the 5th, 4-2.
I think that one might have been a bit too juicy from Brisky right there. First pitch, we've talked about it. South Carolina has been much more aggressive here tonight against Alabama pitching. And a home run given up by a player who hasn't given up very many, just the 8th this season, trying to work a curve in. It's actually not that bad. Rhodey's just ready for it. Maybe catches a little bit too much plate, but it's in her half, and she was off the plate, so it kind of felt like middle to her. Tough one.
Yeah. And for the most part, Alabama had held Rhodey at bay last weekend and in this game, but she was eventually going to break through. The 2-run homer gives Carolina the 4-2 lead in the first pitch to Lexi Winters. Misses low and inside for ball one. Winters has walked twice and scored once so far today.
Unfortunately, Alabama's just gotten sucked into the game South Carolina wants to play, and that's why they've been so effective this year.
That one's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The one thing that hasn't been that effective is the long ball. Rhodey's really kind of the only one who's a big home run hitter. Well, they're last in the conference. Just unfortunately, that was the one player you couldn't give it up to.
That one's fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, if you're the Crimson Tide, you got to get out of this inning without allowing any more and just get something to get the offense going.
Yeah.
After that first inning where we led off the game with a homer and added another run, haven't been able to do a whole lot. 1-2. Fouled off.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a situation where all you got to do is get 1 base runner and you get the tying run at the plate, so it's not like this is anything insurmountable. This is where you got to have some of that fight that we've seen a lot this year from this team.
Another 1-2. That one's again popped up in foul ground, and it will get out of play. Well, these fouls have been on the third base and left field line side. So keeping Winters out in front here. Another 1-2. On its way from Brisky. Bounces in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a very still day or evening here in Athens as far as wind goes. Home run not wind dated. Rhodey just got all of it. The 2-2. Swing on and miss. Strike 3. Winters down on strikes for the first time today, and there's 1 away. First strikeout in relief for Brisky. Now we'll bring up Ella Chansey, who's 1 for 2. First pitch, high for ball 1. Chansey had an RBI fielder's choice in the first and then an RBI double in the third. Foul back 1-1.
It really is interesting. This is frankly a South Carolina team that looks like totally different from what we saw last weekend. The way that they've attacked, they just seem really prepared. The swings have been really solid. They've seemed on time, even for Brisky.
Yeah. The 1-1 hits the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. Two pitch, ground ball, and that's going to get past the diving Elistad in fair ground down the left field line, and that's going to be a double for Ella Chansey. South Carolina trying to put up a big number here in the 5th. Second double a day by Chansey.
Just finding spots, man. This is not hit hard at all. It's just perfectly placed, just past the diving Elistad, and now 4 extra base hits today for the Gamecocks.
Brings up Brooke Blankenship. She's 0 for 2 with a ground out and fly out. Runner on second, 1 out. Carolina leads at 4-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. The first pitch fouled away for strike one. Here comes Patrick Murphy. And it's just going to be a meeting with the battery here.
This is just a meeting with Brisky.
Well, yeah.
And Marley Giles is there, but this is a conversation between Patrick Murphy and Jocelyn Brisky.
Versa Pruitt comes and gets a quick word from Caleb Burrow. Defense alignment in the outfield. An 0-1 count on Blankenship. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes on the Carolina shortstop. Senior from Hudson, Florida, the transfer from Florida State. The 0-2 pitch. Foul back on the rise. We'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you what, if South Carolina's going to keep going to get FGCL players, I like the strategy of getting all the ones who won awards.
Yes.
You know, Lelio, Jory Hurd won a title. Blankenship was Defensive Player of the Year.
Another 0-2. Chopper to short. Hawkins is there. The one-hop throw is in time to get Blankenship at first. And another really nice play defensively by Salem Hawkins, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, the throw felt like it took forever, but you were allowed that time because of how quickly Salem Hawkins was able to get the throw off after fielding it.
So 2 outs now for Abigail Knight. The first pitch to her is high for ball 1. Knight 0 for 2 with a couple of pop-outs, including a great catch made by Callie Hevlin to end the 3rd inning. The 1-0. A little bit low. 2 balls and no strikes. Knight, a 6-year player, one of the Charlotte transfers, originally from Robbinsville, North Carolina.
Ah, yes.
2-0, bounces in, and they might have the runner too far off second, but just back in time is Chansey. On the throwback from Giles. Count moves to 3-0. 3-0 right down the middle. Oh my gosh, no. Excuse me. Ball 4. Skirt. And Chelsea Clark tells the Alabama dugout it was high.
I guess.
So the 4-pitch walk to Abigail Knight puts now runners on first and second with 2 outs for the designated player Emma Sellers. She's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out. First pitch is again a little bit high for ball 1.
Not again, please. We literally have already done this.
The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Sellers, a senior from Lakewood, California. Has spent her entire career at South Carolina. The 1-1. Line to right. That's down for a base hit. Pruitt will come up throwing, and the runner will stay at third. And she would have been toast. So that was a good decision by Chansey. But now the runners, or excuse me, the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Emily Vinson.
Didn't I just say we did
Just
we
literally
just did this?
Just did this, yes.
Left fielder number 17, Emily Vinson.
I'm not sure why Brisky. I think Brisky was looking for a new softball and threw it to Marley, and Marley, with wonderful awareness, ran ahead and saved Emily Vinson from getting hit in the head.
Oh, my.
That was a total accident. Vincent was looking down, kind of going through a routine.
Yeah.
Whoops. All right, back to it.
Okay. Everything's fine. Bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch to Emily Vinson. Popped up and foul ground. It will get out of play for strike 1. Vinson 1 for 2. A single in the second, a ground out in the fourth, and this is a definition of a must out here in the bottom of the fifth. Carolina is taking the lead 4-2.
To the 9-hole hitter as well.
Yep. The 0-1. Grounded to third. Elisad will make the play standing on the third base bag. So the out is recorded, and that'll do it for Carolina here in the fifth. But the Gamecocks take the lead.
Yeah, Ariana Rohde's 2-run homer gives South Carolina that advantage. If you're Alabama, you are not out of this. I know it feels like the energy has died a little bit on the right side of the field. You're down by 2 runs. You got some boppers in this lineup. You got consistency, and you've seen Jory Hurd before. You're not out of this, but you got to make some plays, and you got to start by just battling a little bit more.
For Carolina here in the fifth, 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They left 3 runners on base. We played 5. It's 4-2 South Carolina here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field.
Hey Bama fans, this is Roger Hoover. Each Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, join us live for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. This live streaming talk show features the latest on Alabama athletics with exclusive conversations with Tide student athletes, coaches, and media members giving their perspective on the Crimson Tide. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and X, with all conversations archived as well on the Alabama Insider podcast. Roll Tide with Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR.
Strike out ants, termites, and other pests with a call to Cook's Pest Control. Cook's proven pest control methods and Centricon termite control system keep your home safe and are backed by a 110% satisfaction guarantee. As the weather gets warmer, your spring cleaning isn't done until you call Cook's Pest Control for your free inspection.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
We head to the 6th inning. South Carolina with a 4-2 lead over Alabama. 3-4-5 due up for the Tide here in the 6th. Hevlin, Giles, and Hopkins against Jory Hurd, the second pitcher of the ball game for South Carolina. For her second inning of work, she set down the Tide in order in the 5th. 4 runs on 8 hits, an error and 8 left for South Carolina. 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 3 left for Alabama. It was all pretty even until Carolina got 2 runs on 4 hits in the bottom of the 5th. Take the lead in the ball game, but Alabama can answer right back here. Starting with Callie Hevlin, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out on the day. First pitch, fouled away for strike 1.
Yeah, this is the part of the order that has got to generate something, some kind of traffic, something on base.
The 0-1. Ooh, to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bit high. Look, sometimes that rise just keeps rising, you know?
Just rose too much. The 1-1. Hevlin sends this one to deep right, but ranging back and making the catch on the warning track is Knight for out number 1.
That's a good piece of hitting, too. That's very similar to the fly ball out to right that Tresvik caught last night. Patrick Murphy even said in pregame, like, that's good. You're happy with that. Just, unfortunately, not quite enough.
That brings up Marley Giles, 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a ground out. First pitch. Check swing. Marley didn't go on the rise.
Oh, my.
1-0.
All right.
Our guy Cam said nope.
Cam said, you shall not pass.
The 1-0. Giles takes this one to right. Knight, I think was shielding her eyes. Lost it in the lights momentarily, but went to a knee, made the catch, and there's quickly 2 away. Next up, Salem Hawkins. 1 for 2, had an RBI fielder's choice in the first and a single in the 4th. And we're trying to get some 2-out production here in the 6th. First pitch, Called strike on the outside edge. One fouled off on 2. Bama has not had more than one base runner since that first inning. Bama had runners on second and third with one out and could have added to the 2-0 lead and wasn't able to. Fouls that one off. Does Hawkins. No balls and 2 strikes it remains.
Which is one of the things we've talked about this year. You know, if you've got the shot to lay the hammer down, do it.
Another 0-2. And Hawkins chases their eyes for strike 3. And Alabama, for the second straight inning, goes down in order here in the 6th and remain behind 4-2.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what just happened there. That was not a good at-bat from Salem Hawkins. And now Brisky's got to hold him down. Alabama's going to need to work a little postseason magic if they want to come back and win this one. And it starts by making sure the Gamecocks don't add any insurance.
For the Tide in the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left. We head to the bottom of the 6th. 4-2 South Carolina here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field.
Alabama One is a proud supporter of the University of Alabama Athletics. At Alabama One, we understand you have big life goals. Whether you're paying off student debt, buying a home, or retiring, your big life goals require healthy finances. As a full-service credit union, Alabama One offers our members the resources you need to reach your goals, including better rates than most banks and a full suite of products, including credit cards and loans for mortgages, cars, businesses, and land. Visit us in person or online, alabama1.org. Alabama One is an equal housing lender. The next time you need a medical imaging provider, go where the Tide goes. The radiology clinic just north of the river is the Tide's choice for all of their medical imaging needs. Our compassionate care, extended hours, easy parking, and convenient location make the radiology clinic a championship choice for all of your imaging needs. Visit us online at TuscaloosaRadiology.com or call 205-345-2000 to schedule your appointment.
4-2 South Carolina as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the order due up for the Gamecocks. Lilio, Shelton, and Rhodey. Jocelyn Brisky back out for her 3rd inning of relief. Carolina sent 8 batters to the plate in the 5th, scoring 2 runs to take the 4-2 lead on a 2-run homer by Ariana Rhodey. But South Carolina did leave the bases loaded. Alabama not able to respond in the top of the 6th. First pitch to Quincy Lilio. Fouled back for strike 1. Lilio is 0 for 2 with a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out.
And again, this is why we track the response stat, why this is something that we have isolated since 2019 as something worth monitoring.
The 0-1. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
South Carolina answered immediately in the first inning with just the 1 run, but it was an answer, and it got kind of the momentum back all square in a game Alabama was leading at the time. Alabama now in this game 0 for 3 in answering back to the Gamecocks.
1-1. Fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Line right back up the middle through for a base hit to lead off the 6th inning for Quincy Lilio.
Yeah, good barrel control on this drop ball from Brisky. And it's not even that bad a pitch. Kind of low and outside, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. South Carolina right now is feeling it. We talked about it a little bit, how contagious their hitting is, and it's really spreading like wildfire in that Gamecock dugout.
Carly Shelton steps in. The first pitch is a called strike. Shelton 2 for 3 with a double, a single, and 2 runs scored on the day. Gamecocks now out hitting Alabama 9-4. That one will slice foul down the left field line. 0-2.
It's a South Carolina team that seems like they really want to host a super. That's kind of the takeaway I've had. They've seemed motivated. They didn't let that top of the first discourage them. And I think they understand the opportunity that is ahead if they're able to go on a run here.
The 0-2. Fouled off. Nothing in 2 it remains. One hopper to third. They'll throw to second for one, and Hevlin slipped throwing to first, and beating it out is Shelton, as Alabama's not able to turn their 31st double play of the year. Does get the lead runner, and there's one gone.
Just ready to do a little conjuring for a double play right there, but like you said, Hevlin on that turn slipped just enough on second base.
First pitch to Ariana Rhodey. Drops too low for ball one. Rhodey 2 for 3. Singled in the first and had the 2-run homer in the 5th inning that gave South Carolina the 4-2 lead they currently enjoy. There's a strike, 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. The ball bounces away momentarily. Popped out of the glove of Giles, but she keeps the runner at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tomorrow it's Oklahoma and LSU, Tennessee and Arkansas, Texas and Ole Miss. The winner of this one plays A&M in the nightcap.
Of a very long day.
1-2, and Rhodey just hit her second homer of the day. My goodness. A no-doubter for Ariana Rhodey. It is now 6-2 South Carolina.
Yeah, one too many changeups in that at-bat. You know, she was timed up for the fast stuff, so I understand. You know, go off speed, see if you can fool her. But that's not what happened, unfortunately. And one of the other themes we've seen in this tournament, it seemed like there's been kind of one player each game who's really kind of owned it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this game, that person is Ariana Rhodey.
And I believe Patrick Murphy is going to make a pitching change. So we'll take this opportunity to just pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. So Jocelyn Brisky will give way to a new pitcher for the Crimson Tide. Emily Winstead comes in relief after Brisky gives up her second home run of relief.
Yeah, and sorry to the live stats, it is not Kendall Clark coming to pitch. It is
that would be quite the story.
That would be something. No, it's Emily Winstead. 3.14 ERA, 7-3 record, 26th appearance, 49 innings, 45 hits, 30 runs, 22 earned, 14 walks, 43 strikeouts. And every moment, no matter what the score is an opportunity. And this is Emily Winstead's right here. Nobody on, 1 out. You're coming into a clean inning. South Carolina scored, yes, but it's a clean inning base runner wise. This is where Emily Winstead shows Patrick Murphy and this coaching staff, hey, if you need me to come and get 2 outs in the postseason, I can do that. That's her task right here.
Brisky goes 2 1/3, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 55 pitches, 37 strikes thrown by Brisky. And after getting a 1-2-3 4th, just ran into trouble there in the 5th, and Ariana Rhodey just had her number today.
Happens. I think South Carolina just did a lot of work getting ready for this matchup, and they have seemed prepared all night against Alabama pitching.
Lexi Winters will be the first batter faced by Emily Winstead. She is 0 for 1. 2 walks, a run scored, and a strikeout. so far here in the ball game. Marty Abzetian was getting the okay from ESPN that we're ready to go. And here comes the first pitch. Misses low for ball 1.
Scoreboard update. Top of the 7th, Purdue leads Northwestern 4-2.
The 1-0. Foul back. One ball, one strike. They have finally realized that it is, in fact, Emily Winstead pitching and not Kendall Clark, which we appreciate.
I mean, I would love to see, but not in the SEC tournament.
No. Let her do a Mia Scott and just play every.
Yeah.
That pitch comes in high. 2 balls and a strike now on Winstead. Or from Winstead.
French accent that they're kook.
The 2-1. High and away. 3 balls and a strike. Swung on a miss. And so got winners to chase there. And the count is full, 3-2. That's lined to left, and it's going to fall for a base hit. And Lexi Winters
continues to be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, she's now reached 3 times tonight after reaching 3 times in the Bama series.
Pinch run for here as Nia McKnight, the freshman, comes in to run.
Now running at first base, number 22, Nia McKnight. Now batting, base number 2, Ella Chansey.
Ella Chansey will step in, who's 2 for 3 on the day with a couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs. First pitch is outside for ball 1. They throw back behind McKnight, but she's back in time. Called strike, 1-1. And this is also part of the issue for Alabama falling into having to play on the first day.
Yeah.
The 1-1, right in there for a strike, 1-2. Because say Jocelyn Brisky had held Carolina down and Alabama, got a run in the 6th or the 7th and won the game 3-2. That one comes in high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What do you do tomorrow against Texas A&M? Because Brisky would have pitched 2 days in a row. That one's popped up. Ranging back is Hevlin. She'll make the catch from deep second for the second out of the inning. So if you're going to make a run from day number 1 in the SEC tournament, you either have to have a pitcher that is going to go out and just pitch every day.
Which doesn't exist.
Which very rarely happens, yes. Or you're going to have a great performance by one of the other pitchers.
Yeah. Or you're just going to have to outslug.
Right. First pitch is low for ball 1 to Brooke Blankenship, who's 0 for 3 on the day.
That's why, seeds, I believe it's 5 through 8, only 1 title mixed in there. That was Georgia, the one we were talking about earlier back in 2014.
Called strike. 1-1 now the count on Blankenship.
I am liking the way Winstead's really attacking the edges here with her screwball.
Mm-hmm. That one's fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner on first here in the bottom of the 6th. It's now 6-2 South Carolina. So Winstead can keep the Gamecocks here. Alabama would be in a situation where they could tie the game with a swing of the bat in the 7th. 1-2. High and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you'll have 6, 7, 8 due up. And all you ask is just get that tying run to the plate. It'll take a little bit more work because of the 2-run homer by Rhodey, but it's not crazy.
That one bounces in. I mean, we just watched a game where Florida in the bottom of the 7th, after having done pretty much nothing all day, hit back-to-back homers to tie it up and send it into extra innings. Payoff pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now, again, those were 2 solo homers, and it was a 2-run game at the time before that happened, but stranger things have happened.
Alabama does have a win this year when trailing after 6 innings. I'm honestly not quite sure which one it was.
Another 3-2. Ground ball to second. Evelyn makes a stop in the throw for out number 3 to retire the side. But South Carolina here in the 6th adds to their lead with another 2-run homer by Ariana Rhodey. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We head to the 7th and the last chance for the Crimson Tide. It's 6-2 South Carolina. Here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from the airfield.
CTSN YouTube page. It's the home of the live courtside cam. Episodes of Crimson Drive driven by NASCAR. Plus, Hey Coach. Our YouTube shorts will deliver thrilling Alabama radio highlights, plus interview clips from Alabama student athletes and coaches that you can't miss. Subscribe to the Crimson Tide Sports Network on YouTube for the very latest on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
The next time you need a medical imaging provider, go where the Tide goes. The radiology clinic just north of the river is the Tide's choice for all of their medical imaging needs. Our compassionate care, extended hours, easy parking, and convenient location make the radiology clinic a championship choice for all of your imaging needs. Visit us online at TuscaloosaRadiology.com or call 205-345-2000 to schedule your appointment.
We head to the 7th inning and the last chance for Alabama. South Carolina has a 6-2 lead over the Crimson Tide. 2 up for the Crimson Tide here in the 7th. Elstad, Dukeshire, and Valentine, 6-7-8 against Jory Hurd in the circle for her 3rd inning of relief for South Carolina. Looks like it will be a pinch hitter to start things off, though, for Alabama. Maddie Hubbard has a bat. And we'll start things off for Alabama here, trying to work to at least get the tying run to the plate here in the 7th.
I forgot how much I love Maddie Hubbard's walk-up song.
So Hubbard steps in, right-handed hitting, and the first pitch is low for ball 1. Hubbard batting .289 on the year, 11 of 38, 10 runs scored with 2 triples and 10 RBIs.
Could OBP too at 400.
And that one is smoked to deep center, and that's going to get over Lilio's head. Hubbard will round first and move towards second, where she will slide in safely with a leadoff double for the freshman, making her SEC tournament debut with a leadoff double. Well, alrighty.
Love to see it. You know, and we talked about Emily Winstead's kind of prove-it moment in the bottom of the 6th. She threw well. This, I think, is Patrick Murphy giving a chance to a few players on the bench to prove that they're going to be reliable in the postseason. And how about Maddie Hubbard taking an elevated pitch and just smoking middle in a big-time way? Why not? I mean, that's the most energy I have felt from basically home plate all the way down the right field line in about an hour, honestly.
And another pinch hitter coming up for Alabama, another freshman, Kennedy Marceau, who's batting .317, 13 of 41, 9 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 9 runs driven in on the season. First pitch to her, misses for ball 1.
You know, Marceau's got a lot of pop in that bat as well. I'm looking at the outfield alignment for Carolina. They're playing standard. I would maybe take a step or two back.
That's a ground ball to short. Blankenship makes a stop in the throw to first. Hubbard, moves to third, but there's one out now after the ground out.
It's a really, really good pitch by Hurd, but actually a really good job of Marceau kind of clearing her hands. Just couldn't quite elevate that pitch, but that was hit hard. Blankenship made a good play.
That will bring up now another pinch hitter, Lex Papillo. First pitch to her is fouled away for strike one. Papillo batting .311 on the season, 37 of 119, 24 runs scored with 5 doubles, a triple, 7 homers, 30 runs driven in.
Would love to see her stripe one here. Then you've got an interesting situation.
The 0-1, Papillo with a foul ball off of her foot that gets all the way to second base. Alexis limping and walking that one off. Count moves to 0-2. So runner on third, one out here in the seventh. Bama trails by 4. Papillo sets back in, 0-2 on the count. Pitch fouled away.
You know what, this could also kind of be a little bit, it could be a DP audition too. I feel like Marley Giles in the postseason is probably going to catch the rest of the way, considering how well she's hit it. The DP has been a question mark the last few weeks.
Another 0-2, another foul away. Papillo staying alive, no balls, 2 strikes.
Can't tell who's on deck for Alabama. They're very tight to the wall, whoever it is, whether it's Pruitt or somebody else.
Another 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Bama is down to their final out here in the 7th. And it will be another pinch hitter, and this one is Kendall Clark.
Not going to pitch, coming to hit. Hitting .250 on the year, 9 of 36 with 12 RBIs, a triple, 2 doubles, and 9 runs scored.
We'll definitely have to get something going right now. Clark, one of the 2 team captains, steps in. And the first pitch, called strike. Clark on a rise ball, did go too far around on the check swing. No balls and 2 strikes. Alabama down to their final strike here in the SEC tournament. The 0-2.
No.
Rise ball in. She didn't go this time. 1-2.
Well, earlier today, Memphis led UAB 6-1 in the 7th, and UAB put up 4 2-out runs. Started on a hit with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
That one's high and away, 2-2.
Just providing
things
that have happened today.
Yes, indeed.
The Box Podcast scoreboard update. Memphis did win the game 6-5, but it was mighty fun.
2-2. Clark fouls it off. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got stuck in the railing.
Yeah.
I remember that happened when Alabama played Georgia here last year.
First time that's happened that I've seen.
Ooh.
The ball knocked away by a fan. Hurd looks in, another 2-2 to Clark. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped in the glove for strike 3. And that will do it. Your final score, South Carolina 6, Alabama 2, and the Gamecocks advance here in the SEC tournament to the quarterfinals. They'll take on Texas A&M tomorrow. Alabama bows out. Here in the second round, they'll head back to Tuscaloosa and get set for the selection show on Sunday for the NCAA tournament. 6 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, and 9 left for South Carolina. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 4 left for Alabama. Carolina improves to 40 and 14 overall. Alabama falls to 37 and 21. And Gray, this was a game where it was neck and neck, very, very tight, and then Ariana Rhodey hit 2 2-run homers, and that was pretty much it.
She went full sleigh with a couple 2-run homers, and you know, again, this felt like a different South Carolina team, and a lot of credit to that coaching staff and that team for getting them in a spot where they seemed extremely prepared today. Extremely prepared. I'm very impressed. That South Carolina team that I saw is a team that I could see making a run to OKC. Didn't necessarily feel that way after Columbia, but tonight was a statement by South Carolina, and Alabama did not recover and frankly did not respond at all. And that's the issue. You know, we've seen in the games where Alabama hasn't had control, and it's kind of been a regular softball game where the other team has had control. It's because Alabama has not found ways to answer back. And against a top 10 team, you cannot go 0 for 4 in the response stat. If you do, you will lose. And that's what happened tonight, unfortunately. And, you know, we'll talk about repercussions a little bit once we come back. But it's just kind of a bummer way for it to go out, because it felt like things should have been aligned for you to be the one to make a statement. Instead, the other team did.
Jory Hurd is the winning pitcher. She's now 16 and 3 on the year. Justin Brisky takes a loss. She's now 16 and 12. We'll take a break, come back with the Alabama softball postgame report right after this here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.